In today's episode, we are sharing all the details of our recent weekend getaway to Flagstaff, Arizona, including our first experience skiing and snowboarding at the Arizona Snowbowl. Enjoy! Hi, I'm Rhea.
And I'm Dwayne.
And we are your hosts of the Travel Party of Five podcast, where we share how we travel as a family of five around the world.
We will also share how we use points and miles to travel as affordably as possible and sometimes even completely free.
So if you're wanting to travel more with your family, but you're not sure how, we'd love for you to listen in.
So welcome to our podcast, where we hope you learn a thing or two to get you closer to your next trip.
Hello and welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you for joining us. We're about to share how we almost died on a weekend getaway to Flagstaff, Arizona. And am I being dramatic? Yes, I am a little bit, but also it's a miracle we did not break a limb. So let's get into it, I think.
Yep. Yeah, so this past weekend we went to Flagstaff, Arizona, which is up north from Phoenix, to enjoy Snowbowl, where people go to ski and snowboard. We're just going to share a few things that we did and, how our trip went.
And how we stayed for free. So I think we usually start with how we got there and where we stayed. So let's do that first. We drove from Phoenix to Flagstaff. It is around a 3-hour drive. And I would say if you are planning on flying in, meaning if you don't live within driving distance, you're probably going to want to fly into Phoenix. And then there is a very small airport in Flagstaff. I do not know anything about the availability of flights from Phoenix to Flagstaff, but probably you're going to find the best deals flying into and out of Phoenix. So just be prepared that you'll need to rent a car in Phoenix, and it is about a 3-hour drive. So, if you're flying into Phoenix at night, you'll want to probably stay a night in Phoenix and then drive up in the morning would be my recommendation.
No.
There is a brand new Hyatt place in Flagstaff that just opened in the last couple of months. And so that is where we stayed. We used Chase Ultimate Rewards points to transfer to Hyatt, and we ended up paying a total of 19,000 points for 2 nights. So the hotel is a category 2, and on average, that means it's around 8,000 points a night. But Hyatt also has peak and off-peak rates, and we were in the peak rates, which means we were paying 9,500 points a night. So for 2 nights, it was 19,000 points. The only thing that we had to pay out of pocket was parking. And it was $8 a night.
$8 a night.
So we paid $16 to stay for 2 nights. And we asked if they would waive the parking, which is something that we do quite often, but they said no. And since it was only $16, not a big deal. Yeah. So the whole purpose of this trip was for us to go skiing or snowboarding. Skiing for me, snowboarding for Dwayne.
Well, trying to snowboard.
And so for background, both of us have only been snow skiing or snowboarding one time each.
Yeah, my first time was like 20-some years ago in Japan.
And so we for sure knew that we needed a lesson. And so this was part of one of Dwayne's Christmas gifts was this trip. So I scheduled a lesson for each of us, and we borrowed some gear. We ordered some gear off Amazon and cobbled together some snow outfits, which worked out quite well. I mean, I was warm.
Yeah, it wasn't cold once.
And so here's how the day went. So we arrive at the Snowbowl with plenty of time, with what we think is plenty of time to get all our rental gear and get to the lesson.
Yeah, so back up, our lesson was at 10 a.m.?
10, yes.
Yeah. And we got there at like 9:15.
I think it was, maybe 9:15.
Yeah.
Parked. And so there were just a lot of lines. It was a Saturday. I guess I thought we had allotted extra time, but apparently I was wrong, because it took us a full hour to get all of our gear. We had to wait in quite a few lines to do so. And by the time we were all suited up, it was 10:15.
And I forgot my gloves, so I had to go to their little shop there to buy gloves. And the cheapest ones were $65. And they weren't even gloves, they were mittens.
I don't want to talk about it. So we arrive at the lesson table at 10:15, and they say, "We're so sorry, but you're late," and we cut off the joining time. So our next lesson is at 12:45, and it is again 10:15, and we are in full gear. So we're like, well, we're not going to wait 2.5 hours for the next lesson. So we decided to just wing it. And wing it we did.
Yeah. That's what you call it.
So for a little background, I grew up water skiing. I grew up in the Finger Lakes of New York. We had a boat every summer. We spent a lot of time on the lake. So I am very comfortable water skiing. And if it weren't for that, I probably would not have felt comfortable winging it snow skiing. But I figured some of the movements have to be the same. As long as I can figure out how to stop, I'm probably going to be fine. If you are like an experienced skier or snowboarder, this is probably hilarious to you. So enjoy our comedy. But so we start on the bunny hill, and everyone says that the way you stop is you pizza. You point your two skis together in a triangle to look like a pizza, a slice of pizza. That doesn't work very well when you're going pretty fast. And so my ability to stop was minimal, I would say. How was your experience down the tiny little bunny hill, the first one?
Not very good. Yeah, so my second time on a snowboard. It didn't go as well as I planned. I had no problem stopping or turning left or going straight. My issue was turning right, which I was not able to do. So the lesson would have definitely benefited me, but
it would have benefited me too, because the pizza was it doesn't really work if you're going really fast. So, but we did a few trips down the really tiny hill, and then we decided we were going to give the first beginner hill a try.
Yep.
And we did. But let me tell you, when you're at the top of that hill for the first time looking down, it looks so much steeper than it does when you're at the bottom. And so the first time we went down, we both fell quite a few times. And as a side note, I have no idea how to fall on snow skis, because when you water ski, you don't, I guess you fall, but you also just let go of the rope and you're down. So it's not, I don't know. The water cushions your fall, right? The snow, not so much. So anyways, we ended up skiing for about 3 hours. There was one time where I went down the beginner hill, and I kid you not, I went from top to bottom in 20 seconds. I've never felt more terrified. I said to the guy at the bottom running the lift, I said, "Oh my God, that was effing terrifying." And he looked at me like I was insane.
Well, that was the same run where I went first.
Yeah.
And I was going to take a video of you, so I stopped halfway down. And I spent about 5 minutes looking at who I thought was you. And I'm like waving. I'm like, what? Why is she taking so long? And I'm like waving my hands up. Like, go. Finally, I'm like, she's not going. What the F? So I call her, and she's like, I'm already at the bottom.
And I had been at the bottom for many minutes waiting.
Yeah, so I'm like waving at who knows who that person was. And I'm just like, what is her deal? Why is she going?
Yeah. So it's because I flew down so fast, And the whole time I was so terrified, but it's also like in that moment, the only thing you can do is rely on yourself. There's no one else that's going to help you or keep you from breaking a leg except you. So I guess maybe that is a good life metaphor, but woo, that was scary. So after about 3 hours, we each had a pretty bad wipeout. And so we took a little break, and then we decided that we were just done for the day.
Well, I ate it pretty hard. I mean, my arm is still hurting. My knee is still hurting. I was laying in the snow for at least 5 minutes before I even moved.
I was already at the bottom, and I was calling him because he wasn't moving. And I thought, like, do we need to call an ambulance or what? Yeah. And the other thing is it was incredibly windy. There was a high wind advisory that day, and the elevation really gets to you.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It was tough walking back up that hill. And I just might add, I fell every time off the ski lift. Not once did I make it off the ski lift without falling. I had to like crawl out of the way for the next people to get off the lift. It was pretty comical.
Oh, we had a lot of laughs. It was a good time. If you're curious, the elevation of Flagstaff not Flagstaff, but the Snowbowl is anywhere from 9,200 to 11,500 feet. So it is pretty high up there. And so from our hotel to get to the Snowbowl, it was about a half an hour, I would say. I think the GPS said 29 minutes, so give or take a few. Roads were clear. We had no issues there. And we went the first weekend of March, and there was still tons of snow. That was a concern that I had, but there was still plenty of snow.
Well, yeah. They also, Snowball, they create their own.
They have a system to make their own snow.
They create their own snow, so it's, you can do it up until like, what, May?
I don't know about that far, but I would say for sure through the end of March and maybe the beginning of April too. So if you are considering doing a trip up to the Snowbowl and you've never been before, the Snowbowl website is incredibly informative. It will tell you how much the lift prices are. You can do order your gear rental online, and you can kind of do it all at once, and it'll show you the price by day. Obviously, if you go during the week, it's cheaper than if you go on a weekend. And even the price. So we were originally going to go in February, and we pushed it out a few weeks because it was way cheaper to go the first weekend of March than it was to go like mid-February by like almost half. It was almost half the price. So we're talking hundreds of dollars in savings. And if you have your own gear and stuff, you don't have to wait in all those lines and all that. So, but we're not at that point yet. We also our intention was to kind of scope it out to see if it would be worth bringing the kids. And we've kind of decided the answer is no.
It's not, especially because we don't know what we're doing. I mean, it'd just be hard to monitor the kids and try to learn to snowboard and ski at the same time.
Yeah, because there's 3 of them and 2 of us, and we're not very good yet. Yeah. So now I would like maybe do some kind of a lesson for them. I've heard that can, obviously we would do lessons, but like, I don't know. I've heard that could maybe be an option. So maybe we'll give that a try. But there were little kids flying down these mountains.
Flying down the hill. I'm like, F you, kid. I'm
they
over
were
here
like
struggling.
4.
You're flying down this mountain with no problem.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so that was a little bit of a convoluted explanation of our skiing/snowboarding trip, but I hope it gave you a laugh and was maybe helpful in if you're planning on doing a similar trip soon and you're newbies like we are.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful area, I might add, too, especially to...
Oh, yeah. I mean, the views up there are stunning.
Yeah.
Like, it looks so beautiful. And we had fun. I mean, I know it sounds like we didn't, but we did have fun.
Oh, yeah, I had a great time.
And we would go back. We just need a lesson.
Yeah. I just need to know how to turn right.
And I need to know how to stop without pizzaing. So, so we left early, and they do have food options at the Snowbowl that you can do. But first of all, it's expensive.
And it's just your regular hot dog, hamburger, cheeseburger, chili dog, pizza.
Yeah, and the thing that I didn't mention is that, so the gear that we rented, one of the boots was cutting into my shin the entire time. Like, I have a bruise on my shin and I could not loosen it, and it was just so uncomfortable. So that was a big part of why I was like, I am over this. And so that was another reason why we didn't stay. But we left the mountain, we went back and changed, and we went to get like a late lunch, and we went to El Tapatio, which is a Mexican place. And it is kind of a local-ish chain. They have a few different locations in Arizona. The other one is in Page, Arizona, which I've been to, and it's delicious. And so
good.
When I saw that they had one in Flagstaff, I was like, oh yes, we have to go there. So that's where we went for lunch. And then as far as other restaurants go, so the night before we went skiing.
Yeah, the night we arrived. Yeah,
Dwayne had made a reservation at a restaurant called Fat Olives, which is Italian. So like pizza and that kind of thing. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
I found this on the internet. It was featured on that Triple D show with Guy Fieri. And we were not disappointed at all. There was authentic Italian pizza. Even the girl that took our order, our waitress, was like, yeah, we're certified in Italy to make, authentic Italian pizza. And I just thought she was joking, but apparently she wasn't. It was written on the menu.
He started laughing, and he told me later that he thought she was kidding. Because she said, we are certified by the Italian government.
Oh, yeah. No, I was like, I just want a pizza.
Yeah. And apparently, so Vera Pizza Napolitana, or VPN, is a traditional style of pizza found in Naples, Italy. And so they are certified by the Italian government to make this sort of pizza. And I fully believed her. I didn't think it was
I
a
didn't
joke.
believe her for 1 second.
But the pizza was delicious.
It was very good.
And they also have some really good appetizers. We had the burrata, which was that was probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
It was excellent. The pizzas that we ordered, one of them was one of the ones that Guy Fieri had, and it had
pistachios,
Brussels sprouts, honey,
white sauce.
It was a white pizza, yeah. And I will say it was a little too sweet for my liking. There was a lot of honey, but it had good flavor.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. When you wanted to order that, I thought, okay. But I mean, I enjoyed it.
It had sopressata, which is like a salami, spicy salami. Yep. The crust, though, was so good. Yeah, their crust is delicious. And so we had that, and then we also shared chicken parmesan. So we each had some pizza and some pasta, and it was great. Definitely make a reservation if you're planning on going. Yeah, this
place was packed.
Yeah, and we arrived early, and they still seated us in front of everyone that was waiting. Yeah. So definitely make a reservation. And then, so the hotel, generally Hyatt places have free breakfast, and this hotel did as well. So the morning before we went skiing, we ate breakfast at the hotel, and it's fine. It's your basic hotel breakfast. It is nothing to write home about, but it is free and it will keep you full. So
they had eggs, bacon, waffles. Did they have bacon?
I don't think they had bacon, but yeah, they had eggs.
It was turkey bacon. Oh. Cereal, fruit, oatmeal,
tortillas and stuff, so you can make like breakfast tacos.
Yeah. Coffee, tea. Fine. Yeah, I mean, it's free, so
and
save
then
some money.
Sunday, we actually, so on Saturday we left the Snowbowl. We got lunch, and then we laid in bed and watched Netflix like all afternoon and evening. And that's what you do when you're on a kid-free vacation, and you never get to do that.
We were in bed, curtains closed, blacked out room, and it was like 4:18 p.m. It was great, and we watched Netflix for like the next 6 hours.
As a side note, if you have not seen Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix, we really enjoy it. And the new season just came out. So we love a good, think Anthony Bourdain, but with a completely different personality than Anthony Bourdain had, basically.
Yeah, he's definitely not Anthony Bourdain, but
the premise of the show,
yes.
like he goes to different locations and he tries these like somewhat obscure
and he's a little
restaurants.
goofy. He's he's funny to watch.
But Anthony Bourdain was like, dark and brooding and like
serious, also funny, dark comedy. But I mean,
and Phil is very like cheesy, happy, go lucky, goofy.
Yeah. He was one of the creators for Everyone Loves Raymond, I think.
Yeah, he was. So, anyways,
or Everybody, or whatever it's called.
Everybody Loves Raymond, I think. Yeah. So yeah, great show. That's what we watched. And then so the next day we just had breakfast and headed home, and we had breakfast at the Tourist Home Flagstaff Cafe.
You forgot we went and ordered from Fat Olives again.
Oh, we ordered takeout. Yes.
So we got the
margarita
pizza and the Dolce Calzone, which if you go there, you have to get. It's basically a chocolate pizza or some hazelnut.
Well, it's a chocolate calzone. It's like stuffed with Nutella. Yeah.
But it's called Dolce.
Yeah.
Calzone.
Yeah. If you like Nutella, you'll like it.
Yeah. It was great. I even saved some for the kids, and we had it when we got home that night for dessert.
Yeah. I don't enjoy Nutella that much, so I thought it was all right, but
I love Nutella.
So we did that for dinner. But just a light dinner because we were still pretty full from lunch. And then, so for breakfast, we went to the Tourist Home Flagstaff Cafe. While we were sitting in there eating, I realized I had already been there once before. And, I mean, the food is good. Food is great.
Food was good. Mine took a while yours sat in the window for a minute.
Yeah. I hate that.
And I mean, there was only, 2 other groups of people in there.
Yeah.
It was early.
We went very early. Yeah, because we were up early. And then on the way out of town, we went back to the hotel, packed up, and then we grabbed coffee from Macy's European Coffee House, which was delicious and perfect for the drive home.
Pretty good.
And
that place was also busy.
Yeah. Weather in Flagstaff was not bad. It was like when we woke up on Sunday, it was 33, I think. No snow. There was some snow melting, but like it didn't snow when we were there.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was just the wind. It was cold and windy, so when that wind hit you, it was like burr.
Well, and the temperatures at the Snowbowl itself are on average 5 to 10 degrees colder than what you'll see in Flagstaff because it is about 14 miles north, like up a mountain from Flagstaff. So, but yeah, all in all, great trip. Next time, we will take a lesson. If you are us, let the lesson be, take a lesson.
Definitely take a lesson.
Oh, if you have any questions about Flagstaff or the trip or anything like that, you can find us on Instagram. We actually have a slightly updated Instagram name. It is just at Travel Party of 5, the number 5. So there previously was an underscore. There is no longer. So at Travel Party of 5, feel free to send us a message, and we hope that this was entertaining and or helpful.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening.
Talk to you later. Bye.